Jane hats over here. So how's your convention experience? A little flashback for you. How's your convention experience been so far?
So far, so good. I've been here, been signing for just a half hour so far, and everybody's just so happy to be here. So, what could be bad about that?
No, seriously, and I have to ask. So earlier this year, you had a little reunion with one of your Firefly co-stars, Nathan Fillion.
It was fantastic. I agreed to do it. I hadn't seen Nathan in such a long time. Our work schedules just didn't allow for socialization. So it had been quite a few years since I had seen Nathan, and I showed up on set. And we're doing a rehearsal, and we're rehearsing our scene, and suddenly I feel his presence. Just all of a sudden, very suddenly, he literally just kind of ran into the studio just in front of me. And I turn around and literally scream. I squeal like a 5-year-old girl at Christmas time because I hadn't seen him in so long, and it was just so great to see my captain.
So you guys from Firefly, because there was no doubt about it, you guys were such a tight family. Do you guys have like mixers or yearly reunions?
Yeah. We definitely keep in touch. We're texting themes. And I'm shooting suits here in Toronto. So and I don't wear a gun, and I'm not in a spaceship, so thank you.
Common theme is you look awesome. So obviously today it's all about the fans. So anyone who has a question, raise your hand. Use your diaphragm because you'll have to shout. So I already see a hand way in the back. Girl with the shirt.
No questions.
Can you bring it closer?
I haven't seen it yet. Pardon me.
This is exciting. Did you talk to Josh? Remember how there were rumors about him directing?
There were. Yeah, right on the phone. Oh my God!
Nada.
I called John. I did. I called him up and I said, love. If they ever consider, if they will allow for you to have a middle-aged, ethnically ambiguous Wonder Woman, and your girl. But most importantly, I'm the only damn Amazon you really know. I didn't want to be greedy. I know the odds were probably not against me, but I should be on Paradise.
Did you always on your vacation time for your mom?
Yes, he never responded.
Maybe you can give that photo to him and maybe he'll...
Maybe. He's not even doing it anymore. He's a little busy.
He's a bit busy.
Yeah.
All right, next question. Right over there, girl waving. Big smile. White shirt.
Again.
I know, right?
Sorry,
Killer.
Oh, good. Good for you.
Aww.
Hi.
I have a question. Which character is a true reflection of yourself, Zoe or Jessica, and why?
I think they're different sides of the same coin. It's interesting. When I think about it, I have this terrible habit of playing very strong women. And over the years, they have tended to rub off on me a little bit, which is great. But what I love about both of them, and what I think I give to both of them is an unapologetic femininity. Because I really do believe that a woman's power is in her ability to step into a man's shoes and make their job better. It is to stand in her own shoes, or stilettos, or boots, and really create a better world. So, and I think they both do that in their own way.
Gina, I gotta ask, your roles have been so iconic for being powerful, girl power. I mean, did you anticipate that those were gonna be the kind of roles that you would get when you grow up?
Oh, God, no. I mean, it's really been such a blessing, you know. When I started as an actor, no one knew what to do with me. I was usually maybe about 6 inches to a foot taller than most of the actors, so couldn't play the girlfriend, couldn't play the wife. I was a little too overwhelming to be the best friend, so they didn't want me next to the lead because I was usually a bit taller than them. And then, God bless him, Rob Tappert, who created Xena and working with his franchises, said, "I know exactly what to do with you. I'm going to give you a sword." Make you as scary as everybody thinks you really are. And that's all she wrote. And so that was, this entire genre, which is really where strong women have a place to be and live and thrive and evolve in sci-fi and fantasy and action. That has been my bread and butter, and it has led into other things. And so I could not be more grateful and thankful for you guys who keep coming.
Next question over there. Black shirt. Yeah.
Hi, I was wondering if before you started acting, if you already had an interest in sci-fi, or if that developed or grew since you've had so many sci-fi roles.
It developed. Yeah, it definitely developed. I'm very girly. I loved watching musicals. I loved the old studio musicals growing up. Gene Kelly and Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers and Robert Keel. I loved the whole, and all I wanted to do really was musical theater on stage. And so that was my world, but not unlike sci-fi, we're talking about bigger than life. We're talking about a suspension of disbelief that sort of fills your soul and your heart with possibilities. And so the genres are really very similar, I think, because you have to sort of believe in a world where somebody breaks into song to express themselves.
Is it bizarre?
Just as equally as you have to believe in a world where there are mutants and flying people living side by side harmoniously.
So what's it like for you switching over from that fantastical world, which you do so much of, to something like Suits, where it's more grounded in reality?
Well, let's talk about Suits. Grounded in reality. Yes, it's present day, but they're impossibly witty and impossibly good-looking people, impossibly expensive suits, and they look impossibly good and put together all the time. So, reality? But I don't have to talk about whether an engine is falling apart and why. There are no reapers. It's not that difficult. I think you just, as an actor, it's just a different sandbox, that you get to play in.
Right in the front, Dr. Who.
Hello, Dr. Who. My wardrobe is ridiculous. Yeah. That is the most asked question. I don't know if anybody heard that, but do I get to keep some of my Suits wardrobe? No. And it's fine. Every now and then I do see, like I'll get to wear a dress where I go, well, that's a Gina dress. Gina needs this. But a lot of the time it feels like I'm like wearing my really cool big sister's clothes. And she would hate it if I like went in and, because I have a really cool big sister, and she hated it when I wore her clothes. So I, sometimes I borrow it. But
Right behind Dr. Who.
I'm a big fan of Firefly, but this isn't a question. I'd just like to thank you for being responsible for the death of Sherry Palmer.
you're very welcome. I enjoyed that very much. Are there any children here? Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, she was not a nice lady.
Right back there in the red shirt.
Yes, I just wanted to know, now that you're right here in Toronto and doing a lot of pursuits, you were also called in to work on Hannibal. How was it like to work with your husband in set?
Yeah, it was for Hannibal. I have to say, not because he's my husband, but I got to work with one of our best actors, and that's never a bad thing. And the beauty of our relationship is that, when we come home, we're married with children. We do that, we have dinner like everybody else. But I was really excited about working with Lawrence Fishburne. Lawrence Fishburne is a badass. And I was nervous. I get all that, and he was there, but we ended up having a great time, and it wasn't the first time that we had worked together. We find our rhythms, and we get to work. So it was great.
Do you think it's going to happen again?
It is going to happen again. Yeah.
So I have to ask, he was in the Man of Steel movie, and he's going to be back, is what I read. And so obviously lots of buzz this week, Ben Affleck as Batman. Have you talked to Lawrence? Have you talked to your hubby about it, and what's your reaction?